Hey there, it's Walt. Welcome back to my channel. I hope that you found this video. I'm not sure. There are so many things out there. I had a break for a year, and I'm really not sure how many people will see this. I just felt like doing it. I had, like I said, a longer break. I was not as much interested in comics and especially new ones, and also like super busy with my own career and family life and other things. So I've waited for the right moment to get back into the game, and this might be it. House of X by Mr. Jonathan Hickman with Pepe Larraz and what's his name? RB Silva. Two artists, two miniseries, one great author, and I want to talk about it. I want to tell you three things that I really liked about it and three that didn't really convince me. All right, let's just get into it. So, three things I liked. One of those three is, you can see it already, is the design and how everything came together, because the design by Tom Müller, who is by now one of the more interesting people changing the look of comics, especially of covers, but also here of interior design. And you can see that everything is one. So you have like text, you have symbols, you have comics. Wow, big surprise! But you also have like this, the whole aesthetic that goes with it and makes it into something a bit more special than just another event comic. And yeah, this is a thing that I was a bit skeptical about. Everyone knows that Jonathan Hickman is obsessed with, those kind of things here. And sometimes it's just like joyless. And in this case, I found it to be really of value. Why? Because all the world building, facts, details that are not 100% relevant to the story, they go into this secondary part of the book, which you can read or you can skip if you like. But if you want to get deeper into the world that Hickman and, well, basically himself probably has built here for the mutants, you can do it, and it doesn't break the rhythm of the read. That was the big surprise for me. Not so much on the first issue. I got the first issue as a single issue. I didn't totally get it, but now in a collection it feels very organic, and it's a big new thing that I haven't seen in this way for any mainstream publisher. So the next thing is, the second thing that I really liked is basically Hickman just maximizing his craftsmanship. So we know that he's a good storyteller, but sometimes he's a little bit too complex or pseudo complex for his own good. So he adds too many layers. He wants too many things at the same time, and he does the same thing here, but here it works out beautifully. So it's superb how he manages to basically do the impossible, mixing old tropes and cliches from old mutant days, picking up unresolved stories and characters, and introducing a new, somehow new concept at the same time. So this is a big achievement, especially when you keep in mind that he's working here with 4 different timelines. I don't know, probably a few dozen characters, of which at least half a dozen have their own subplots going all the time. And like I mentioned, he has this, Hickman has this thing which I would call a little bit of a horror vacui. It's a term which comes more from, when they wanted to explain graffiti, they said, well, people really have a problem when they see empty walls. They want to fill them up. And Hickman wants to fill up his stories with a lot of complexity. And sometimes, it leads to a mess. But here, where he has this 4 timelines and half of all sci-fi concepts ever thought about, he included them all here, and everything fights it out. And somehow he manages to build up a rhythm and keep his house in order. And whenever you think, okay, now I'm lost, a few pages later you get drawn in again, and that's just super impressive. Okay, the third thing, as you can see here, we have different artists. I think this is an artist change already here. No, it isn't. But it was like House of X and Powers of X, and it was a weekly release, so it's still a wonder that only 2 artists were needed. And to bring those 2 together, who are not super different, but still a little bit, they had one colorist. And the colorist's name I should mention, because even if it wasn't like a revolutionary art to color, it's Marty Garcia with David Curiel. And for the other one, it's Marty Garcia with David, same team. So you can feel it. So like I said, it's not a very unique coloring style or a very special tonality that he goes for, but you can still feel that everything is done by one person, and it feels much more like one big story and has one look. And I think that's a very hard and rare thing for a weekly event to pull off. All right, let's get to the things that I disliked. They're not really relevant, because I was very impressed with this book. It's more like nitpickery now. One thing you could say that it was compared to I'm just looking if it's still recording, and it does, very good. It was compared to Grant Morrison's and Frank Quitely's revamp, I don't know, 20 years ago, the new X-Men, or the Whedon Cassidy run. And I think it's not worse than any of those, but it's quite different, because it's more of a nerd fest than the others. It doesn't have a very unique voice or unique tonality or unique elegance to it. It's just like, I would say, like a very mainstream work for hire gig done just as well as possible. But like I said, don't take this the wrong way. It doesn't mean that it's not as good as the others. It's just not like as unique or artistically interesting. The second thing that I would say could be a bit of a thing for some people, or was a thing, at least for me, was the price tag. Spend like €5 to €6 or dollars a week for a X-Men book. Maybe a bit much, but not for the hardcover collection, which is, by the way, you can see it's beautiful. It's oversized. It's really nice looking, nicely designed, and it's $60. I got it for €35 or so, so you can get it fairly cheap, and it's absolutely worth its money. Yeah, it's not really a negative point, and I get that they want to make money off it. So yeah. The third thing is, and that might be like the more serious one. At the same time, it doesn't have to do with the book itself. It's what happens afterwards. They relaunched the whole mutant line at Marvel with, I don't know, 5 to 6 titles at once. Some of them on a bi-weekly schedule. and that's just insane. Why not building it up slowly and healthy? Maybe I'm a romantic. Maybe it just doesn't work that way anymore, and you have to get everything out now, and half a year later everything is rebooted again. Maybe that's the style that they have to operate on. But for me, I mean, I picked up the first issues of everything, basically. But I'm if they bump me with stuff, I will only like pick the really the best thing and stay with it. I don't have like the patience to spend like so many dollars on things that I'm not sure they will go anywhere. So the only book that I'm really staying with right now is X-Men itself. So yeah, that was basically it. There's much more to say probably, but I want to keep this one short. And yeah, welcome back, or welcome to my channel if you didn't know it before. Welcome back if you subscribed it before. And yeah, don't forget to hit this subscription button, you know where it is, so that you get notifications whenever I put up a new video. Until then, read this book. It's really worth your money. And have a good night and a good day and a good week. Bye bye.